What's up everybody, welcome back. So we are well into season 3 of Go Battle League right now, and it's been so much fun trying out these different Pokemon with their updated moves. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over a set of battles featuring Drifblim in the Great League. Now the buff to Hex in season 3 has definitely made Drifblim even more viable as far as PvP is concerned, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you might have already tried it out. But in case you haven't and you're still trying to figure out a team comp to fit it in, this is definitely a great team comp to run it along with. That's because Galarian Stunfisk and Meganium form a really solid core, and between the two can handle most of what you're going to see in the meta. And Drifblim acts as a great safe switch option for this team, being able to win back switch advantage in cases where you lose the lead, and which is why this team has been working really well for me. It got me through to rank 5 and then rank 6 and halfway through to rank 7 as well. And yeah, like I said, it's been working really well for me, and it's a team that I look forward to trying in the future as well. And some really exciting battles in here, so let's just get straight into it. Okay, moving on to the first battle here. I'm going to be leading with Stunfisk, with Drifblim and Meganium in the back. Now Meganium in the back is really solid, and it's arguably one of the best closers as far as Great League is concerned. And we have Stunfisk into Swampert, absolutely terrible lead right off the back here. So I'm just going to switch into Drifblim. Now this is exactly the role that Drifblim performs in this team. It's a fantastic safe switch option, and I'm just going to shield the first one because it's going to do the most damage, because once I throw the Icy Wind, the Hydro Cannon will be debuffed. So I'm just going to go straight for the Icy Wind here. This is going to do some nice neutral damage to Swampert. Now Swampert in Great League is fairly glassy, so it would do quite a bit of damage to it as it does there. And they do make a switch into their Tangrowth. Now Tangrowth is definitely not a counter to Drifblim, because this Icy Wind would do super effective damage because of the grass typing, and they do shield that up. But I do have to worry about Rock Slide, which would do super effective damage against Drifblim because of the flying typing. But because they're debuffed, I know it's not going to take Drifblim out, which is why I'm just going to let it go through. And I'm just going to go straight for the next Icy Wind here. And at this point, because they are double debuffed and the Vine Whip is resisted because of the flying typing, they're going to basically have to throw another charge move to get rid of Drifblim, right? So another charge move coming through. It's probably going to be another Rock Slide. I'm just going to let this go through. It's fine. I'll take shield advantage at this point. I'm just going to come in with a Galarian Stunfisk here and try and get off this Rock Slide. Charge move coming through, doesn't matter. They are double debuffed at this point. So Power Whip does like very minimal damage, to be honest. And they make a switch into their Swampert. I'm going to immediately switch into Meganium. I anticipated this. I knew they had loaded energy. So I'm just going to soak the Hydro Cannon with Meganium here and then completely farm this Swampert down. And let's see what they have in the back. So they have an Altaria in the back. So this is not great right now. This is not a great situation to be in, because they can completely farm the Meganium down. But I'm just going to chip away at this Altaria with Frenzy Plant, because even though this is double resisted, I just want to get this Altaria into Rock Slide range. That's my plan here, because Stunfisk is basically going to have to do all the work in the back. And yeah, Frenzy Plant, it doesn't really do that much, but at this point it's probably almost in Rock Slide range. Luckily they decide to throw the charge move here, which is great. Sky Attack is going to finish off the Meganium here, and I'm just going to go straight for the Rock Slide here. This is going to do super effective damage because of the flying typing, and almost come close to taking out this Altaria. Yeah, I mean, they still survive with a little bit of health, so I'm going to basically have to get off another Rock Slide because those Mud Shots are double resisted. So now, luckily I'm able to get to another Rock Slide before another charge move came through. So Rock Slide should definitely finish off the Altaria. Now it's just a race to the charge move, right? I'm basically going to have to get off 2 Rock Slides to get rid of this Tangrowth. I'm just going to get off the first one here. This is going to put the Tangrowth pretty low. And now they are over farming quite a bit. And yeah, they're going to throw a Power Whip right here. And I'm just going to have to shield this up. And I'm really hoping they don't have another one at this point. And luckily, I'm able to get to this Rock Slide just in time here. And this is going to do some nice neutral damage to Tangrowth and finish it off. So that was a pretty close game right off the back. And you know, Swampert and Mudboy leads can be extremely tricky. But that's where Drifblim comes really in handy, right? You can safe switch into it. And then especially with the Icy Wind debuff, it's pretty easy to win switch advantage. And even though in this matchup we didn't win switch advantage, they basically gave up switch advantage, which I guess worked in our favor. I mean, if they'd stayed in and then, you know, sort of let my Stunfisk take their Tangrowth out, then I probably would have lost this, right? So anyways, we have met with the defense Deoxys here. This is a pretty decent matchup for Stunfisk, because even though those counters are doing super effective damage, both of Defense Deoxys' charge moves are going to be double resisted. That's basically Rock Slide, which is double resisted because of the Steel ground typing, and Thunderbolt would be double resisted because of the ground typing, and Psycho Boost would also be resisted because of the Steel typing, right? So Thunderbolt again double resisted. So I'm just going to go straight for the Earthquake here, and I'm really hoping they let this go through because this would probably finish off the Defense Deoxys if it goes unshielded, but they do shield that up, which is okay. And at this point, I'm going to go straight for the Rock Slide here. I'm really trying to get their final shield as well, because this Rock Slide isn't going to finish off the Defense Deoxys. It's going to put it pretty low, but I think we CMP'd there, which means that, you know, they're going to get off Thunderbolt absolutely fine. Again, I'll take the shield advantage at this point. So I'm just going to come in with the Drifblim and completely farm this Defense Deoxys down with Hex. So, and they're going to come in with Abomasnow, so I'm just going to go straight for the Shadow Ball here because I want to do a massive amount of damage to Abomasnow if it goes unshielded. They have only one shield at this point. As you can see, it does a lot of damage to Abomasnow. And I'm going to shield this up because they're going to be able to spam those super effective Weather Balls, and because of the flying typing, obviously. And I'm trying to get to this Icy Wind here. Unfortunately, they're able to get to another Charge Boom. I'm going to have to shield this because Meganium in the back doesn't really want to see this Abomasnow. And I'm going to go straight for the Icy Wind here. This is going to do neutral damage to Abomasnow because of the Grass Ice typing. And I'm really hoping they let this go through because I want this thing out of here. Luckily, they let it go through. Let's see what they have in the back. They have a Stunfisk in the back. This is GG's at this point because even though they have a shield advantage, there's nothing they can do. I mean, if it was a Galarian Stunfisk, it would have some play, but the Unova Stunfisk gets completely walled by Meganium, right? Because everything is going to be resisted by Meganium, while Frenzy Plant does super effective damage because of the ground typing. And they knew the writing was on the wall, so they just let that go through. I mean, there was no way they were going to come back from that because, like I said, they're going to basically need to get off like 5 or 6 charge moves to get rid of Meganium. And it's going to be a GG. So I think it was kind of lucky that, you know, they had a regular Stunfisk in the back. I mean, anything else would have been slightly tricky. Even a Azumarill, especially with the shield disadvantage, would have been slightly tricky to go up against. But Stunfisk is something that you definitely want to see in the back, especially when you're running Meganium. So anyways, we have Stunfisk into Azumarill. Not a great matchup. Again, going to save switch into Drifblim here. And let's see what they decide to do. They are still staying in. They're going to make a switch into their Medicham. So, I mean, I clicked the Icy Wind. Unfortunately, I probably should have gone straight Shadow Ball and tried to one-shot it because it's going to be weak to Ghost moves because of the Psychic typing. And those counters are triple resisted, right? Because of the Ghost flying typing. And I'm not going to shield this because even if it's an Ice Punch, I know they're debuffed, but they go for Dynamic Punch. That's definitely not what you want to be going for because, like I said, it's triple resisted because of the Ghost flying typing. And I'm going to go straight Icy Wind here. Again, they don't shield for some reason. And at this point, I can just completely farm this Medicham down with Hex. Another charge move coming through, it's absolutely fine. Even if it's Ice Punch, it won't take us out. So they do have Ice Punch, which is something they probably should have gone for the first time, it's fine. Now we have a lot of loaded energy. And I'm going to go straight for the Shadow Ball onto this Azumarill here because I don't expect them to shield this and it does a lot of neutral damage there. And I'm trying to get to another Icy Wind here, but they're throwing a charge bomb, which is absolutely fine. Luckily, they didn't farm us down. And now we have switch advantage and I can come in with Meganium, right? And they don't even have Ice Beam, so this is even better for Meganium. And they are still staying in this matchup, which tells me they have something in the back which is not great against Meganium because they might have switched out already. I'm going to let this go through. Play Rough does neutral damage to Meganium. And I'm just going to completely Vine Whip farm this Azumarill down because they're not going to get to another Play Rough in time. And we have a lot of loaded energy and they have a Cresselia in the back. So I'm not sure why they didn't switch out because they probably could have switched out into their Cresselia. Cresselia is a pretty decent matchup against Meganium. But because we have a lot of loaded energy, I'm going to be able to spam these Frenzy Plants, right? Meganium with loaded energy is just so dangerous. And they do give up both their shields. They're absolutely perfect. We still have 2 shields as well. And I'm able to get to another Frenzy Plant here. And this should put this Cresselia into Earthquake range for my Stunfisk. And I'm just going to stay in and wait for them to throw the charge bomb. I'm just going to soak this charge bomb. Doesn't really matter what it is. I'm going to save the shields for my Stunfisk. Grass Knot doesn't really even take a Meganium out. But I'm going to switch into Stunfisk and try and go straight for the Earthquake here. A charge bomb coming through. I'm not going to shield this. Doesn't really matter what it is at this point. Grass Knot would do neutral damage, but they're going to basically need another 3 Grass Knots to get rid of us. And this Earthquake is definitely going to come close to taking out this Cresselia here. Doing heavy neutral damage. And yeah, a couple of Mud Shots should pretty much seal the deal there. So I think that's 3-0 right now with this team. As you can see, Drifblim being able to win switch advantage on this particular occasion. I mean, it came in really handy, right? I mean, it either gets the shield or it helps you win switch advantage and just basically sets up, the game towards the back end there. Anyways, now we have an Altaria lead. This is absolutely perfect. You want to catch the Flyers on the lead with this team. They do make a switch into their Azumarill, gonna go into Meganium. This happened so many times to me, to be honest, in the 2 or 3 sets of battles that I did with this team. So many people like to save switch their Azumarill into my Galarian Stunfisk, which is why this team works really well, because when you have Meganium in the back, which completely sort of destroys their Azumarill here. So we do have the slight energy disadvantage here, which is not great, because they're probably going to get to another Ice Beam before I can get to a Frenzy Plant. So yeah, I mean, I'm just going to let this go through, because even if I shield it, I mean, they're going to come in with Altaria and completely farm my Meganium down. And we have lost switch advantage at this point, which is not great. So I'm just going to come in with Drifblim and farm this Azumarill down and just build up a little bit of energy there. Let's see what they decide to bring in. They're going to come back in with Altaria. I'm going to go straight for the Icy Wind here. Now, Icy Wind, Altaria is going to be double weak to Ice because of the Dragon Flying typing. And I'm just going to throw the Icy Wind and then switch into my Galarian Stunfisk and then go immediately for the Rock Slide here. So just doing a bit of combo play here. This is again going to do super effective damage because of the flying typing or get their shield. They give up their final shield, which is absolutely fine. And they're going to make a switch into their own Galarian Stunfisk. This is perfect. They have no more shields and we have an energy advantage as well. So I'm just going to go straight for the Earthquake. This is almost going to one-shot the opposing Stunfisk. Almost takes it out there, and this is perfect. I can just completely mud-shot this thing down. I'm just going to shield this up because, yeah, nice bait with Rock Slide, but doesn't really matter at this point because we have a shield advantage and also an almost full health Drifblim in the back. And yeah, a couple of Rock Slides should definitely get rid of this Altaria there. So at this point, they probably decide to give up the match because they knew the writing was on the wall. And yeah, we had that game all the way through. So I was 4-0 in this set. Let's see if we can make it 5-0. I think I went 5-0 twice with this team. This was, I think, the second time in a row, I should say. I think even previously in rank 5, which got me to rank 6, I ran this team and, it worked really well. So we have Empoli on lead. This is very tricky. So at this point, I'm not sure what I should be doing. I stay in this matchup because I feel like, even mud shots are doing super effective damage, but clearly those waterfalls are definitely doing more. And I'm just going to shield this up and then build up to an Earthquake and then bait with Rock Slide here. That's my plan. I'm just going to build up a little extra energy and then bait with Rock Slide. This is going to be resisted by Empoleon because of the steel typing, but gets the shield there, which is absolutely perfect. And at this point, I'm just going to go straight for the Earthquake here. Now, Earthquake is going to one-shot the Empoleon because of the steel typing. And let's see if they give up their final shield. They do give up their shield. I'm going to immediately switch into my Drifblim. And this is, again, not a great matchup for Drifblim because those Hydro Cannons would do some heavy neutral damage to it. I'm going to have to shield this up, and I'm going to go straight for the Shadow Ball here because Icy would be double resisted because of the Steel Water typing. Might as well just go straight for the Shadow Ball and get rid of this Empoleon here. And yeah, they're going to come in with Clefable, so I'm just going to go straight for the Icy Wind here. I probably should have gone for the Shadow Ball because that would have done more damage, but I wanted to debuff this Clefable so that my Meganium takes lesser damage from those charms. And they're going to be able to charm the Drifblim down. And I'm going to come in with Meganium here because Stunfisk has very little health. It's basically my third shield sack option later on if need be. And they make a switch into their own Stunfisk. This is absolutely perfect. Meganium has such a positive matchup against Galarian Stunfisk as well, especially when shields are down, because I can go straight for the Earthquake, which is going to do super effective damage because of the steel typing. And yeah, it's almost going to one-shot it. So obviously, because Meganium's Earthquake doesn't have stab, it isn't going to exactly one-shot it, but it's perfect. It's in perfect farm down range right now. This is absolutely perfect because now we can come out of this matchup with a lot of loaded energy. And this Rock Slide isn't going to take us out. It's going to put us pretty low, but it's fine. We're going to come out of this matchup with a lot of energy here. And I'm going to go straight for the Frenzy Plant. They should probably take out the Clefable from this range. So I think having that energy was really crucial because if that Earthquake had one-shot the Stunfisk, then I probably would have lost this game. But I think landing the Frenzy Plant towards the end there made all the difference. So as you can see, that's a 5-0 set. So a pretty solid team overall. I mean, it has a fairly decent amount of balance and has pretty much answers against most of what you're going to see in the meta. Even fire types aren't too much of an issue because Galarian Stunfisk can be super effective against fire types as well. And also Meganium with Earthquake can one-shot most of the fire types towards endgame when shields are down. And like you can see, Drifblim is a fantastic safe switch option and also has such a fantastic moveset that it's going to be able to pressure some shields as well. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.